Hey everyone, Corey here with mindfulBit, and today I'm going to teach you how to host your website in S3 in 10 minutes or less. So without further ado, let's dive in. First thing we want to do is create the S3 bucket. So open your AWS Management Console, go on over to S3, create bucket, mindfulBit.test. You want to name this the same as your CNAME for your website. Keep that in mind. We're going to keep all this the same. We're going to open public access since it is a website. Tell them yep. And create bucket. Let's dive back into that and upload a file. The file I'm uploading is a simple HTML file with a single header object in it. It's called index.html and it says hello mindfulBit. Really straightforward for the purposes of this demo. Alright, excellent. Let's pop on over to properties. What I want you to do is click that static website hosting and tell it that we want to use this bucket. Go ahead and reference your index document here and click that save button. Alright, that's all we need to do there. Second, we need a Lambda function. I want to get you an A+ score on all of your response headers to make sure you're following the latest necessary security trends. So go into Lambda. I want you to create a new function. We're going to name this response header manipulator, and we're going to use a blueprint. The blueprint is going to be CloudFront modify response header. Go ahead and name that function. We want to create a new role from AWS policy templates. We're going to call this mindfulBit role, and we're going to choose these basic Lambda edge permissions for the cloud trigger. Go ahead and create that function. Now you'll notice the function is already pre-populated. I'm going to paste in some code that I already have. I'll put it in the comment section. You can use it straight up. No worries at all. It'll get you that A+ score when you run your site through security checks. So let's go back into our function here. Response header manipulator. I'm going to grab my code that I already have. Yes, I am cheating here. Okay. And I'm going to paste in this new code. And as you can see, we're just basically taking all these security headers, X-frame options, content type, feature policy, and populating those the way that we want. Go ahead and save that, and make sure to publish a version of it. We need to associate this with a CloudFront distribution, and you can only do that if you have the actual version. So keep this tab alive, open up another tab, and head on over to IAM. We need to make one change to the role. We have the mindfulBit role that we created. Go into trust relationships, edit trust relationship, and what we want to do is add one more service to that list. That service is going to be the Edge Lambda Amazon.com service. So you want to just take this, put a comma, and add that new service there. Okay, so I'm going to take my code that I have and I'm going to paste it in just this way. So we're moving from a single string to an array there. My apologies. It'll look like this. Now update that trust policy. Excellent. Now we create the CloudFront distribution. This is where the majority of the time takes place because it has to start up. CloudFront is going to serve our S3 content directly to the users through the web. It's very, very nice. Origin domain, you're going to select the bucket we created. You're going to restrict the bucket access. Use a new identity. Okay. Yes, update the bucket policy. This will make sure that people cannot access your S3 files directly. They have to use this distribution and go through this CloudFront distro to see your files. Redirect HTTP to HTTPS. And we're going to set this Lambda function. So this is where the Lambda function comes into play. You're going to choose viewer response, type in the ARN, make sure to get the version. I'm going to use US and Canada. No domain names for me. I'm going to use the basic cloudfront.net. If you have your own cert and you want to connect it to mindfulbit.com, for instance, you would type in mindfulbit.com here and upload your custom cert. But I'm not going to be using that. I'm just going to use the basic CloudFront. And important default root object is going to be index.html. And fire away. So the majority of the time that we're going to be waiting here is going to be on this status of the CloudFront distribution. We want it to become enabled and deployed. So while that's waiting, I'm just going to talk to you guys about the S3 bucket. So as you saw during the CloudFront distribution creation, we set a bucket policy. Let's go take a look at that and see what it looks like. So under your permissions, go to your bucket policy, and you'll see now we have a policy for CloudFront private content. This is a really cool policy because it will not allow anyone to access this S3 content directly. They have to go through this CloudFront distribution. So that is exactly what this is saying. It's a GET object request. We're only allowing GETs on everything that is in mindfulBit.test. So that got updated when we created that. Very, very cool stuff. You can upload entire Angular applications into this bucket and it'll work just fine, you know. So that's one solution. Instead of in the past, perhaps you would create an EC2 instance with a Tomcat container that would serve the Angular app, or maybe you had some other complicated type of deployment. This deployment is so nice because you simply need to build the app, push it into the S3, and then invalidate your CloudFront distribution. So when you invalidate the distribution, you say, hey, I want you to get rid of everything that you have cached and load everything fresh. And that's how you push out the new version of your website. Super sleek, lightweight, cost efficient, and really easy to implement. So let's check our CloudFront distribution one more time. It's still deploying here. We'll give that another minute or so. Like I said, this is the part that sort of takes the longest, waiting on that to deploy. And I didn't want to do any cuts in the video because I want you to see how long it actually does take. No lies. So just as a recap, the different pieces of AWS that we've used, we set up an S3 bucket initially, and we opened that bucket for website hosting. Okay, the bucket is where you upload all of your HTML, JavaScript, Angular framework files. They all get just plopped right into that S3 bucket. Okay. Then we set up a Lambda function. This Lambda function is responsible for setting our response headers. We want to make sure all of the response headers are set in a way that is safe and secure, that don't allow clickjacking or any type of dangerous hacking on our website. Third thing is we updated the IAM policy and the IAM role that was associated with the Lambda function with a single new service. Very easy. Third thing, we created our CloudFront distribution. When we created it, we associated it to our new bucket. We updated the bucket's policy. We set the default root file. For us, we didn't specify any CNAMEs, but if you want to point it to your actual domain that you own, you'll want to give it the CNAMEs and upload your own certificate. And we associated the Lambda response header file that will get triggered anytime responses are sent back. All right, excellent. So it's been deployed. What we're going to do now is we're going to check this CloudFront domain. This should be accessible to the world. So when we go up here and we type it in, we should get hello mindfulBit. That is the exact HTML that I put into the bucket. And it is, once again, it's just that easy. So let's go ahead and go to the Mozilla Observatory and check all of our headers to see what kind of grade we get. A+. So there it is in a nutshell, under 10 minutes, just like I promised. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much. Go check out mindfulbit.com for more content, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.